Hey y'all, it's Michael, and these are two more books that I currently finished from the Lemonade syllabus. The first one is Sugar by Bernice L. McFadden. I read and enjoyed her other novel, Gathering of Waters, and so I was excited to read this just because I knew what I was, like her writing style, or was already introduced into it. I quite enjoyed this actually. This is about Sugar, and she basically moves into a new town and she meets this older woman, Pearl, and the whole book is basically about the relationship and how this type of relationship, because Sugar is much younger than Pearl, and this type of relationship, how it manifests and becomes like a true friendship essentially. If you watch my other vlog where I read this, this starts off really gruesome. It starts off with a murder, so right away I was really gripped and I was like so ready to start it. And once again, like in similar to her other novel, I think McFadden's real strength as an author is that she knows how to tell a story, and that she knows how to layer it. So when she's telling us about these characters and like these events that happen in their past, it stacks on top of each other and it actually becomes really important once it starts picking up towards the end, and how all of these things that she's telling us really does have some sort of impact, and it comes together quite really nice. My favorite part is obviously the relationship between Pearl and Sugar. I mean, there are some really funny moments in here, and I love that this happens in a small town because McFadden really captures how it feels to be in a small town, how gossip is spread so easily and people keep talking. And I just really like how there were these moments of, while it was serious, there were some also really humorous parts. My only thing about this book that I didn't quite enjoy, or I didn't feel as though it was tight compared to the rest of the novel, was how it escalates to the revelation. It's because when you find out something happens, obviously, and you find out how it's connected and what it means, I was kind of like, like I didn't feel that it wasn't tack, it wasn't precise and narrow as I wanted it to be, because everything else was done so well, and then all of a sudden this thing came up and I was like, because I guess she kind of wanted some sort of revelation to it. And there's another book in the series, I believe, so I'm really excited to read that. I don't want to find out what happens next because it is really intriguing. I gave this 3.5 out of 5. I quite enjoyed it. In regards to Lemonade, I think this is a book that relates and talks about, again, like I said, about Beyonce and how her relationship with her grandma, and then that scene where it shows Jay-Z's grandma reading her speech, and she's talking about lemonade, how she didn't have nothing but she made lemonade out of lemons, you know, that type of saying. And it's like a really important type of phrase here in the South. It's like really ingrained that you make something out of nothing, and well, you make the best of the situation, basically. It's like one of the themes that Lemonade covers, and here this one really does talk about making the best of the situation, even though it's really crappy, but also the relationship between someone who is much younger and this friendship that develops between the two characters. I really quite enjoyed it, so yes, I would recommend it. So the next book, I knew that within this list of hold on, I have it right here, I'm checking them off as I go. Within this list of novels, I knew that eventually I would reach a book that I wasn't the biggest fan of, and unfortunately that happened. And the other book I want to talk about is Some Love, Some Pain, Some Time by J. California Cooper. I was so excited to read this because I really enjoyed Homemade Love. Homemade Love had the spirit, this soul, this humor, it was just done so well. Like, all the stories were done so well. I still remember a lot of the stories from there, and I was like, oh my gosh. So in here, I knew that she wasn't going to talk about, obviously she's going to talk about love, but I was so excited. And unfortunately, I didn't like this. The stories this time around, I didn't quite enjoy, and to be honest, I only really remember one of them, because a lot of them sounded really similar, like the voice too similar to each other. It didn't have that je ne sais quoi that Homemade Love had. It seemed to be lacking something, and I don't know what it was. But my favorite story out of this was Yellow House Road. That's probably because it had food in it. But that one was really good. That one is about Emily. That's her name, Emily, and she basically starts this this like bakery business because she works for this white family, and she starts making cookies, and come to find out that the family owns a cookie company. It's actually that was the highlight, because I was really invested in that story. I was like, oh my god, this is like, if this story was in Homemade Love, it would have connected, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But that was my favorite out of this collection of stories. But the other ones just seemed okay, like I just didn't quite enjoy it, to be honest with you. And then some of them also, it ended, it was just too happy for me, and I tend to like more of my stories on the tragedy, the sad side. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy this as much as Homemade Love. I gave it 2 stars out of 5. If you read any of those 2 novels, let me know what you think about them. Until then, I'll see you guys till later. Bye! This is like a little side thing, but I'm doing quite well on here. I made like a little thing on the side in case you can't see, but in case you can see. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Now, I'm not gonna finish this list, unfortunately, by the time we go see Beyonce, but I'm giving myself until the end of the year, and I should be able to finish it. So I actually read some more of these. I just gotta check them off, and I'm doing really, really well.